They trust they were the only Deathworlders. Later, they met humans. The Drakari are a species shaped by the harshness of their homeworld. Their planet is a place where survival is a constant struggle. Violent storms tear through the sky, earthquakes shake the land, and dangerous creatures roam the surface. Every day on this planet is a fight for life. Only the strongest and smartest survive. From the beginning, the Drakari were forced to adapt. Their world did not allow weakness. Their ancestors battled fierce predators and found ways to live in a world full of threats. Over time, the Drakari learned how to live with the dangers around them. They became stronger, faster, and more resourceful. The need to survive became part of who they are. Over generations, the Drakari evolved to withstand the extreme conditions of their world. Their skin is thick and tough, able to protect them from the intense heat of volcanic land and the freezing cold of the storms. Their senses are sharp, making them highly aware of everything around them. Their eyes, adjusted to the dim light of the long nights, can see in places where others cannot. These traits help them hunt, fight, and protect themselves from the dangers that are always nearby. The Drakari are not just survivors, they are warriors. Every Drakari is trained to fight from a young age. It is not only a skill but a way of life. They are taught to fight for food, for territory, and for their very survival. Their cities stand tall above the bones of the creatures they've defeated. Each victory reminds them of the strength and power they need to stay alive. To the Drakari, survival is more than just a need, it is a way of life. They believe that their harsh world has made them the strongest species in the galaxy. They think they are the only ones who have truly faced such danger and come out on top. For them, there is no greater honor than surviving on a death world and emerging as the ultimate example of resilience. But in the vast galaxy, the Drakari are about to learn they are not as unique as they think. Far beyond the harsh world of the Drakari, there is a galaxy filled with life. This galaxy is home to many different species, each with its own unique way of living. But unlike the Drakari, most of these species have learned to live in peace. Across this vast galaxy, beings of all kinds work together, trade, and share ideas. There are no constant battles for survival. Instead, cooperation has shaped their way of life. At the heart of this galaxy is a massive hub, a place where different species come together. Ships of all shapes and sizes move through the spaceport, bringing goods, knowledge, and technology from every corner of the galaxy. It is a place where differences are embraced, not feared. The beings here are diverse, each with their own culture and way of thinking. And yet, they live side by side, working for the common good of all. The galaxy is not without its challenges. There are still threats, dangers, and disagreements. But instead of fighting over them, the species here have learned to talk, to find common ground, and to resolve their issues peacefully. From advanced technologies that help solve problems to peaceful councils that lead with wisdom, these beings have created a galaxy that values cooperation over conflict. The Drakari, however, remain a mystery. Few know of them, and even fewer have ever encountered them. Stories and rumors spread across the galaxy about the Drakari. Whispers of a warlike species from a dangerous planet. Some view them with fear, others with curiosity. But no one truly understands the Drakari. To the other species, they are an enigma, a species that has chosen isolation instead of peace. While most of the galaxy focuses on growth and collaboration, the Drakari continue their struggle to survive alone. Little do they know, however, that their world is about to change. And soon, they will come face to face with a species they never expected to meet. The Drakari are not interested in peace. Their world has shaped them into a people who trust only in their own strength. They have built their society around the idea that survival depends on being independent, on relying only on themselves. To them, the rest of the galaxy is full of weak, peaceful species that have never known true hardship. The Drakari are proud of what they have achieved on their own. They have mastered their deadly world and conquered the beasts that roam it. For generations, they have lived in isolation, looking down on other species, believing they are the only ones who have truly earned their place in the galaxy. Their council is divided on the issue of engagement with others. Some see the value in learning from the peaceful civilizations of the galaxy, thinking that there might be knowledge or technology that could improve their own survival. But the majority remain firmly against it, convinced that mixing with other species would only weaken them. They believe that contact with outsiders could threaten the strength of their culture and their independence. The Drakari see no need to change. They are content with their way of life, focused solely on surviving on their harsh homeworld. To them, the peaceful galaxy is just a distant, irrelevant place. The idea of alliances or cooperation seems foreign, even weak. And yet, as much as the Drakari believe in their isolation, the universe is far bigger than they think. There are species out there who, though different, have faced their own battles for survival. And soon, the Drakari will learn that the galaxy they have shut out might hold more than just peaceful beings. They might find something that challenges everything they've ever believed. Deep in the farthest reaches of space, beyond the known systems and unexplored frontiers, a strange signal reaches the Drakari. It's faint at first, just a whisper against the vast silence of the galaxy. But it's enough to catch the attention of their scientists, curious minds who are always on the lookout for anything that could help them understand the unknown. The signal is unlike anything the Drakari have ever encountered. It pulses at regular intervals, a steady beat that seems to follow a pattern. There's a rhythm to it, something deliberate, as if it's being sent with purpose. The Drakari's most advanced technology struggles to make sense of it. But even so, it's clear that the signal is not of natural origin. This is no random burst of cosmic energy. It's intelligent. It's coming from somewhere. The scientists gather, analyzing every possible angle. Could it be another species? Could it be a message? Their minds race with possibilities. Some believe it's a warning, a signal from an unknown enemy. Others think it could be an opportunity, something that could provide them with new knowledge, new technology, or even new allies. But there's a growing sense of unease. Why now? Why this signal? And why from so far away? The Drakari have lived in isolation for so long that the idea of engaging with anyone beyond their borders feels unsettling. Some of the more cautious council members advise against further investigation, fearful of what they might find. They argue that it's best to leave well enough alone to focus on their own survival. Yet, the scientists are determined. They know this is an opportunity they cannot ignore. The signal is too important to dismiss. It could be the key to something far greater than anything the Drakari have ever experienced. Perhaps it's a chance to finally break free from their self-imposed isolation, to discover that they are not alone in the galaxy. As the debate continues, the signal grows stronger, clearer. It's undeniable now. It's not just a random noise. It's a call. And the Drakari have no choice but to respond. The question is, who is on the other end? And what will this mysterious signal mean for them? The Drakari have made their decision. The signal is too important to ignore, too mysterious to leave unanswered. For the first time in generations, they prepare to step beyond their borders, to venture into the unknown. A mission is set in motion, one that will take them to the distant sector where the signal is strongest. The ship, sleek and powerful, stands ready in the launch bay. Its crew, a mix of scientists, soldiers, and strategists, are prepared for whatever lies ahead. This is not a mission of diplomacy or exploration. It is a journey into uncertainty. The Drakari have long prided themselves on their independence, but now they are about to cross into territory where nothing is familiar. Commander Threx, ever the strategist, oversees every detail of the mission. His thoughts are mixed. There's a part of him that is excited, curious about the possibilities that the signal might bring. But another part of him feels unease. The Drakkari have always lived by their own rules, and the idea of reaching out to an unknown species feels like a step into dangerous territory. The ship's engines roar to life, and the crew makes their way into deep space. As they leave their planet behind, the weight of the mission settles in. There is no turning back now. The unknown stretches out before them, a vast, empty space filled with unanswered questions. Every moment in space is a reminder of how far they've come, and how much is still unknown. With each passing second, the signal grows stronger. They are getting closer, but what will they find when they arrive? And what will the mysterious message mean for the Drakkari, a people who have never needed anyone but themselves? The journey has begun. The Drakkari ship moves deeper into unknown space, the signal pulling them ever forward. Days turn to weeks, and the crew feels the weight of the mission press down on them. What began as a curious signal has grown into something far greater, a journey into the heart of mystery. The signal is growing clearer now, more defined, and it's unmistakably coming from the far reaches of a nearby star system. As the ship enters the system, the Drakkari crew begins scanning the area, looking for any signs of what's ahead. Suddenly, a bright flash appears on the radar, a ship massive in size, almost as if it was waiting for them. The crew jumps to attention as the Drakkari vessel approaches the unknown ship, its purpose unclear. Commander Threx orders a halt. The atmosphere aboard the Drakkari ship becomes tense. No one has ever encountered another species in such a direct way. The vastness of space has kept them isolated for so long that the thought of meeting an alien race feels unsettling. But they are too close to turn back now. On the human ship, Captain Maya Sullivan watches as the Drakkari vessel approaches. She, too, is nervous but resolute. Her crew has been tracking the signal for some time, uncertain of its source, but intrigued by its complexity. For her, this is a first, an opportunity to meet an entirely new species. The stakes are high, and she understands the importance of making a peaceful first contact. The two ships hover in space, mere miles apart, both waiting for the other to make a move. The silence between them is deafening. It's a rare moment, where two completely different worlds, shaped by their own unique struggles, are about to collide. The first attempts at communication are awkward, full of misunderstandings. The Drakkari, trained for battle and suspicion, send out a signal to establish contact. But the language is blunt, focused on identifying threats and asserting dominance. The human ship responds cautiously, trying to clarify their peaceful intent. The translation between them is slow, filled with hesitation and confusion. The Drakkari don't trust the humans. They don't know what to make of this unfamiliar ship, its strange design, its signals. Captain Sullivan's voice cracks over the comms. "This is Captain Maya Sullivan of the Pioneer. We mean you no harm. We are explorers, not enemies." Commander Threx stands stiffly before the console, unsure of how to respond. His pride as a leader conflicts with his curiosity. "State your purpose. Why do you send this signal?" he demands, his voice sharp. Maya, trying to keep calm, replies, "We received a signal from this sector, the same as you. We were trying to learn more about it, about who sent it." A pause falls between them. There is an unease in the silence, as both sides try to make sense of each other. For the Drakkari, this is a moment of uncertainty, an unfamiliar situation that brings discomfort. For the humans, it is an opportunity that could lead to a breakthrough or a catastrophe. Commander Threx's eyes narrow. He's not used to these kinds of encounters. The human's words seem genuine, but there's still so much he doesn't understand. His people have always been cautious, driven by the need to survive, to protect their own. But here, in the quiet of space, there are no guarantees. There are only questions. "Are you like us?" Commander Threx asks, the words slipping out before he can stop them. Captain Sullivan's response is filled with the weight of understanding. "We, too, come from a planet where survival is a struggle. Our world is not kind to us either, but we've found ways to work together, to survive as a people. There's a moment of quiet realization. Both species have faced similar struggles, different worlds, but the same drive to survive. And in that moment, the tension between the two ships lessens, just slightly. The Drakkari no longer see the humans as a direct threat, but as something far more complicated, a species that shares something with them, even if it is not fully understood yet. Commander Threx turns to his crew, giving a subtle nod. He knows they must learn more, but it's clear now that this is not the battle he expected. This is the beginning of something far more complex. The silence is broken when Captain Sullivan finally speaks again, her voice calm but firm. We're willing to talk, to learn. We've been alone for a long time too, but maybe, just maybe, we don't have to be anymore. As the two ships sit in the vastness of space, the weight of their isolation begins to lift, just a little. The encounter has begun, and neither side knows what will come next. The tension between the two ships remains thick in the cold vacuum of space. The Drakkari, proud and warlike, are still unsure about the humans. The peaceful words spoken by Captain Sullivan do little to shake the suspicion of Commander Threx and his crew. After all, they have never relied on diplomacy, and trusting others has never been a Drakkari trait. The silence is broken when a minor misunderstanding sparks a series of events that neither side expects. The Drakkari, on high alert, misinterpret a signal from the human ship as a hostile action. A surge of defensive protocols is triggered aboard the Drakkari vessel, and suddenly, the quiet standoff turns into chaos. Commander Threx stands rigid, barking orders as his crew scrambles to respond to what they believe is an attack. Prepare weapons. If they mean us harm, we will show them what happens when they threaten the Drakkari, he orders, the fire of his warrior instincts lighting up his voice. The humans, equally startled by the sudden response, misread the Drakkari's actions as a direct attack. Captain Sullivan immediately orders her ship to take evasive maneuvers, her crew scrambling to respond to the perceived threat. Move the ship now. Get us out of their range, she commands, her voice steady despite the rising tension. The two ships begin to circle each other, weapons charging and shields rising. Both sides are preparing for a fight that neither truly wants, but both are convinced is necessary. The Drakkari see a display of weakness in the humans' retreat, while the humans view the Drakkari's readiness for battle as an unprovoked attack. It's a moment of raw survival instinct, a clash between cultures, both shaped by the need to protect and preserve their people. For the Drakkari, survival means standing tall, showing strength at all costs. For the humans, survival has meant avoiding conflict and learning to negotiate their way through danger. But in this moment, neither side fully understands the other. After a tense few moments, both sides hesitate. The weapons are not fired, the shields stay in place. The realization that this is a misunderstanding begins to sink in, but the damage is done. The initial mistrust has already taken root. Both species are on edge, still unsure of each other's true intentions. Commander Threx looks to his crew, frustration and confusion written on his face. We will not show weakness. If they wish to fight, we will show them what it means to challenge the Drakkari. But Captain Sullivan, looking at the same set of sensors, realizes the mistake. We don't have to fight, she mutters under her breath. But the damage is done, and now both sides must find a way to rebuild trust, or risk everything. The tense standoff between the Drakkari and the humans finally begins to ease, but the air is thick with suspicion. Both sides remain on edge, their crews silently watching, waiting for the other to make the next move. The moment of conflict has passed, but the damage is not easily forgotten. Commander Threx stands in the command room, his posture rigid, the weight of his responsibility pressing down on him. His people are warriors, and he knows that showing any sign of weakness could be disastrous. But as the minutes pass, a realization starts to form in his mind, something deeper than the instinct to fight. What if this is all just a misunderstanding? He mutters quietly to himself. His mind drifts back to the initial words spoken by Captain Sullivan, words of peace, of cooperation. He had been so quick to dismiss them. He had seen weakness, fear, and hesitation. He had mistaken those traits for something that would bring harm to his people. But now he wonders if there is more to the humans than he first believed. Across the void, Captain Sullivan stands in the control room of the Pioneer, her fingers hovering over the comms controls. Her crew is still shaken, but she remains calm. She had seen the fire in the Drakkari captain's eyes, felt it in the weight of his words. Yet, she also saw the hesitation, the uncertainty behind the fury. She understands now that it's not hatred driving the Drakkari. It's fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of losing what they've fought so hard to build. Perhaps we misunderstood each other, Captain Sullivan says softly to her first officer. But we don't have to stay enemies. The communication channels open, and for the first time, both leaders are face to face in the virtual space between their ships. Commander Threx's face is stern, but his voice, for the first time, carries a note of curiosity. Your people, like mine, have fought to survive, Threx says, his voice steady, but not as harsh as before. But you have not relied on strength alone. What do you seek from us humans? Captain Sullivan meets his gaze on the screen, her voice unwavering. We seek nothing but understanding. We, too, have faced destruction, but we have learned to trust in others. We've learned that survival doesn't have to mean fighting alone. There's a long silence. For a moment, both commanders simply listen, their ships now moving cautiously closer, as if the distance between them is more than just physical. And in that silence, both sides begin to understand that the true battle is not one of weapons, but one of minds and hearts. They realize that despite their differences, they share something profound, a will to survive. But survival isn't just about defeating enemies. It's about learning to live together despite the odds. Commander Threx exhales, his gaze softening. Perhaps we have more in common than we thought. Captain Sullivan nods. Perhaps we do. As the first rays of understanding shine through the fog of mistrust, the two species begin to see the possibility of something greater than mere survival. The silence that had once been filled with suspicion is now replaced by careful conversations, exploring the potential for cooperation. On the Drakkari ship, Commander Threx paces in his command room, his thoughts no longer consumed by the need to defend his people, but by the idea of what they could achieve if they worked together with the humans. The mission that started as a journey to investigate a signal now feels like the beginning of something far more important, something that could change the course of their history. I have always believed that we are the strongest, Threx admits, his voice low as he addresses his council. But strength is not only found in fighting. It is found in unity, in purpose. The council members exchange glances, their expressions uncertain. It's a difficult concept for them to accept, this idea of collaboration. Yet they can see it too, the possibility that they could learn from the humans, perhaps even gain knowledge and technology that could help their species thrive. Meanwhile, aboard the Pioneer, Captain Sullivan addresses her crew. This is more than just a meeting between two ships, she says, her voice steady. This is a chance to form a true alliance, one that could change the future for both our species. We are not just survivors, we are pioneers, and together, we can accomplish more than we ever could alone. The two ships, once at odds, now sit side by side in the vastness of space, their crews working together to share knowledge, exchange technology, and learn from one another. Engineers from both sides collaborate to improve their ship systems, merging the Drakkari's advanced weaponry with human technology for greater efficiency. Scientists trade research, their minds coming together to solve problems neither species could tackle alone. In a shared meeting space, both leaders sit across from one another, a map of the galaxy displayed between them. Threx points to a cluster of stars, and Sullivan follows his finger. We have much to learn from each other, Threx says. But we also have enemies in this galaxy. Together, we are stronger. Sullivan nods. We are. And we can use that strength to help others. Not just survive, but thrive. The two ships, now united in purpose, set a course together. Their alliance will not only change the fate of the Drakkari and the humans, it will set the stage for a new era in the galaxy, where cooperation and trust can overcome even the greatest challenges. The alliance between the Drakkari and the humans is more than just a union of two species. It marks the beginning of a new chapter in the galaxy, one that will ripple across the stars, touching the lives of countless others. For the Drakkari, the idea of working with another species was once unthinkable. Yet, by embracing this alliance, they have opened themselves to a future where cooperation and trust are no longer seen as weaknesses. They now understand that strength is not only measured by the ability to fight, but by the willingness to learn and grow with others. The humans, too, have changed. They have always prided themselves on their ability to adapt, to find peaceful solutions to conflicts. But working alongside the Drakkari has taught them the importance of resilience and the value of sharing their own strengths. Their shared history of survival has created a bond that runs deeper than simple diplomacy. It's a partnership forged in the fire of hardship. As the news of this alliance spreads, it reaches the ears of other species across the galaxy. Some view it with hope, seeing the possibility of a more united future. Others, however, look on with suspicion. Will the alliance between the Drakkari and humans shift the balance of power in the galaxy? Will it inspire other species to follow suit, or will it lead to new conflicts? One thing is certain, the galaxy will never be the same. The two species, once isolated, now stand as examples of what can be achieved when differences are set aside. And as their journey continues, it is clear that their united strength will leave a lasting mark on the future of the galaxy. As the Drakkari and humans set forth on their joint mission, the stars ahead seem to promise endless possibilities. What began as a chance encounter has blossomed into an alliance that transcends the boundaries of species, of worlds. For the first time in history, two Deathworlders, both hardened by the struggles of their home planets, have come together, not to conquer, but to share, to learn, and to explore. Commander Threx and Captain Sullivan stand side by side on the bridge of the Drakkari ship, gazing out into the vastness of space. There is no longer a sense of isolation or uncertainty between them. Their partnership is now a symbol of what is possible when beings, so different yet so alike, find common ground. This is just the beginning, Threx says, his voice calm but filled with purpose. Together, we can explore the unknown, learn from each other, and face the challenges that come with it. Captain Sullivan nods, looking at the stars ahead. We're no longer alone, she replies. And that changes everything. As the two ships travel deeper into space, their mission becomes more than just the pursuit of knowledge. It's a testament to the strength found in unity, to the resilience forged through hardship, and to the power of collaboration. The alliance between the Drakkari and humans holds the promise of something far greater than either species could have imagined. An opportunity to redefine their future, not just for themselves, but for the galaxy. The journey ahead is uncertain, filled with risks and challenges. But for the first time, the Drakkari and humans are no longer facing those dangers alone. Together, they are ready to shape the future, to confront the unknown, and to build a new era where survival is no longer a solitary struggle, but a shared strength. And as the stars stretch out before them, one thing is clear: the galaxy has just begun to change. The alliance between the Drakkari and humans is just the beginning. What happens next in this galaxy full of unknowns? Will more species rise to embrace unity? Or will new challenges emerge that test their fragile trust? The future is wide open, and the possibilities are endless. What will you do when faced with the unexpected? When survival means working together rather than alone? Join us on this incredible journey, as we explore the uncharted territories of the galaxy. Stay tuned for more, because the adventure is only beginning. Thank you for watching till the end. If you enjoyed the story, please give this video a like and subscribe for more.